You're watching JaxBlade's month of Halloween. Let's get some shit out of some psychopaths. Groovy.
Ignore the pillow corner, but just know, like, I had to get a bunch of pillows for a video I got coming up. Yo, dudes and dudettes, your friendly neighbor JaxBlade is back. And first off, I want to apologize in advance that the Halloween series got cut short this year. I'm going to go extra ham next year. Just, I've been going through a lot of personal stuff with like family issues and other stuff as I've been talking to my Twitter and stuff like that. So thank you all for all those supports and love that people were sending me. I really do genuinely appreciate it. But today I just wanted to go in on a topic that I think would help you magnificently and that I think every single person should learn to be the strongest version of themselves, and it actually will make you stronger than the majority of the planet, because not a lot of people can do this. Now, what is it about these certain horror films that we love to watch besides seeing our favorite killers just mangle and murder people? It is the fact that we love seeing the victim become the victor in the end. We love seeing the hunter become the hunted and them just get their own together and beat the crap out of that villain. Like, some of the best horror films are like that, where the villain is now like being hunted, like, oh crap, I thought I could punk this person, but now they're punking me. That's what I absolutely love. But something that is undercredited in all those scenes is just the high level of emotional control that takes. And sadly, not a lot of people have this on point. The sad reality is not a lot of human beings can control their emotions effectively, myself included. Like, they're all things. Like, we are very emotional creatures. And so when you let your emotions get the best of you, it can hindrance you in a way that will not allow you to be the best you possible. So this is something you may have encountered in your life, or maybe you're suffering from it instead. But the thing is, a lot of people have problems controlling their emotions, or just in general with emotional control or mood disorders. And today we're going to talk about how you can fix that for yourself so you can become the strongest. Because remember, this is you. The brain is you. You are literally just a bone mecha with meat armor, and that is what you are, all right? This is you. You're like Krang right now, all right? This is, if you don't have this right, then you can't get the other stuff as right as you want for yourself. So this is why I think it's super important to talk about. And I already know some people are getting defensive saying, not me, I actually control my emotions super great, and I am actually really great at controlling my emotions. And they don't realize the thing is, by reacting that way, you've already shown that you're not as ideal with controlling your emotions as you may think. And I'm not saying that in a talking down way. I'm saying as a way of, like, I've noticed this with a lot of people. It's that same concept of people saying, I don't care, like with a very much of a tone, like, I don't care. I don't freaking care about that. I don't care. Like, you're giving away that you do care just from what you're admitting to yourself right now. Like, you're admitting that you care. Like, you're showing that you care. You may be saying it over and over, but it's not what you're showing. And so we know what you're emotionally going through. And when you bring this up, some people will be like, hey, are you talking down to me? Do you think you're better than me? Oh, wow, fuck you. And that's not the case at all. Like, literally, it's just, I'm trying to connect with you on a certain way. But if you connect with them in a way that's like, you're trying to like pity them, they'll be like, oh, you're thinking you're taking pity on me? What, are you patronizing me? I don't need shit. And so, like, they never get the thing fixed, but it's just, I'm helping you today identify if you do this or not, or know people who do this so that you can progress further on. And the reason I'm bringing up all like this like smaller stuff is because, like, imagine that high stress situation that people in horror movies are in, all right? Or any high stress situation like that for a matter. If you are bugging out, losing your shit, then you are not gonna be like emotionally there when you need to like focus and get stuff done. Like, you're probably going to be more of a hindrance to the people around and cause more death and destruction, or like you're just going to cause more problems because you cannot emotionally center yourself. And I've talked about this before in like several videos. Here's a whole playlist of them, so you can watch this after this, but this is just going more in depth at the how to build it up and build yourself up from it. And again, I'm not going to project like I'm perfect or something like that. As a matter of fact, there are so many times where you see someone lose their shit and it's really funny. Like, you see someone like just completely lose it or get upset or do something. Like, there are so many videos like that, or like they get super scared, or they get super angry, they get super heated or something like that. And it's funny to watch. It's amusing to watch at times. But if you are placing yourself in the situation, then it's a completely different story, all right? Because if you are now in that situation and you are losing your shit and doing all this stuff and going through all this stuff, and you are not from the outside looking in, it is completely different. And you realize, oh God, what the fuck am I doing? But I'm just gonna keep going forward with this. For example, a lot of people go undiagnosed with certain mood disorders or emotional disorders that they may have developed through life, either from brain chemical imbalances or life traumas or something that they went through throughout their thing, and they're just like, you know, it's just how they are now. And so they decide to take that out on other people just because they never got diagnosed with it, so they don't know how to, like, you know, react. It's just like, oh, everything is just going to be a freaking nail and I'm the hammer and this is what was going to go down. And that can either be good or it can either be very much of a hindrance and like burn them later on. For example, my family has a history of like mental health stuff, like just mood disorders and other stuff. And I take notice of that for myself because there have been times in my life where I would go from really happy to really sad. And then like when I went through the trauma of bullying, which I talked about in so many videos, so I won't repeat it here, that just exacerbated it to where I can now, like I would get through this point where everything was just like a trigger. It would be like, I am pissed, I am angry, are you challenging me? What the fuck's wrong with you? Like, you really want to go right now? Because of certain mental things I was going with. And sometimes I would take my personal bad day on someone who had nothing to do with it because I was not emotionally strong. I was very emotionally fragile back in the day. And so nowadays I can see that because I've gotten so much help from, like, you know, anger management therapy. And people, again, I want to make this perfectly clear. There is nothing wrong with going to a doctor or a therapist to see what is up with you. Like, there's this whole mentality that that is weak or something like that. No, it is weak to realize you have a problem and not try to fix it. And then go ahead and hurt someone who has done nothing to you. That is weak, my friend. Like, you are going to hurt someone if you do not get that checked for yourself and make your life feel miserable in some way that you could have prevented if you just decided to go get help as soon as possible. That's why I'm projecting this. That's why I'm always about this, because it makes you so much stronger in the end. So for example, let me make this something relatable because a lot of my viewers can understand this. All right, so for example, I really love versus debates. The versus debates are super fun to watch. Like, you see people just go like back and forth, they get passionate, they get hype and stuff like that. And that's super cool to see them go back and forth. But when the debate is over, they're chill. It's just like, okay, yeah, that was a good fight. That was a good match. You know, like, just being so passionate, bringing up the facts, stuff like that is super cool to see, the energy and just hype to watch and stuff like that. And it's very entertaining, you know, stuff like that. It's very entertaining. But there are some individuals who will take these versus matches so seriously that it becomes like a part of their character. Like, they will transcribe the insults that were said during that versus debate into being like personal attacks, which were just like, you know, jokey things back and forth. Or they'll be like, I do not agree with this person, and because I do not agree with this person, I'm going to transcribe this as something else. For example, if someone says something that you do not agree with and it, like, you know, you just don't agree with it, for some individuals that will transcribe to something completely different. It's like, hey, I don't think so-and-so could beat so-and-so. And it's like, in their brain, what they're hearing is, I don't think so-and-so could be so-and-so, and I think you're a fucking bitch and a dumbass and you're a fucking pathetic piece of shit. I can't believe you do that, you freaking bitch. You know, shit like, they start getting all the insults, like, what the fuck? And then they retaliate in a certain way, and it's like, where the hell did this come from? This is just supposed to be a versus battle on this, and it's happening like that because some people will literally transcribe. I've seen people get so heated from these that it is the equivalent of if someone freaking kicked their pet or slapped their mother or something like that. And I'm just like, dude, you realize that this is literally about whose imaginary character is like, it's literally just like, oh, these two imaginary characters have a fight. Wow, I think my imaginary friend can beat your imaginary friend. They are not real. They are not real people. But the stimulus is like that of being someone doing something that vicious, is kicking your pet or slapping your mom or something like that. And that is not healthy. I'm saying that, I'm not saying that to, like, you know, make a joke or something like that. It is like interesting to think about, but I'm saying, like, if you are someone like this, where the smallest thing sets you off, where you are going to, like, it feels the equivalent of someone did something that outlandish to you, which is like you're rightfully to be pissed over, that it requires therapy. That requires going to someone who is a specialist. Like, I'm saying that genuinely. I'm not saying it to make fun of you. I'm not saying it to, like, put you down or anything like that. I'm saying, like, that is not a very healthy thing at all. They are two different things. They do not equivalent to each other at all. Like, losing a versus battle between two fictional made-up characters is not the same as your mom being slapped or your dog being hit or like your cat being stomped or something like that. You know, any pet you have, like, it is not the same. But for some people, it gives the same mental stimulus, and that is not healthy. So that's why I'm talking about building up that emotional strength. Because if you get, like, bent out of shape from this, how would you ever handle, like, a high stress situation where it's like, oh God, I gotta run. Oh God, I need to think on my feet. Oh God, I need to do this. I can't remain calm if you're losing your stuff over that. Another thing, some people will try to play off their emotions like, hey, okay, why are you taking that so seriously, ain't even that big a deal. And then, you know, they'll play it off like, oh, I ain't even that serious, but they'll keep bringing it up. They'll keep being passive aggressive about it, or they'll just keep bringing it up and over. And it's like, you really are upset about this. And it's just like, my guy, right? If you're upset, like, you know, in a way like, oh, you lost, that's completely fine to be like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna come back better and like win this other debate. But if you're like, no, I want this person to die, I want this person's family to get fucked up, I hate this person, they embarrass me, they made me feel like crap and do all this stuff, it's just like, think of what this is. Literally think about it, dude. Literally break it down logically, because again, it's one of those situations where it's like, you can't think logically. We are such emotional beings that certain things that are just logical when you're like, you know, level-headed, you can't think of logically until you calm down, and people have to be there for you. So it's just another thing where I'm just like, this will help you actively get stronger if you're a person like this, or you know someone like this. This is why I'm such a fan of like breathing techniques and even meditation, even though some people are like, meditation just doesn't work for me. Well, maybe the breathing techniques will work for you, because again, I used to go to anger management because I used to get triggered like that if anyone would make a joke about me, because again, back in the day, I used to get beat and made fun of, and I was just like, okay, this is a defense mechanism. This is my defense mechanism to just get in someone's face and be like, what, you have a problem with me? Bring it. And so I learned how to master that through the breathing and meditation techniques, and let me just explain why. Here's an example. Let's say you get into a discussion and someone says something that triggers you, makes you angry, embarrassed, and now you want to retaliate because you are now emotionally compromised. This person has gotten to you in a way where you are now just like, I'm emotionally compromised, I want to make them pay. Now, you want to make them feel hurt too. Like that negative feeling you're feeling, you're just like, I want them to feel it too. And once those feelings start to bubble up, take notice of them. Pinpoint which feeling it is, you know, like feel it. Like, is it just like, are you mad? Are you sad, embarrassed? Like, what is that feeling? And I want you to feel it. Like actively sit in the moment and feel it, but control how you release it. It is difficult, but focus on your breath and remaining calm so that you can react rationally and logically. And many fail at this, sadly, and even I still have problems with it, and which is why I try to get stronger at this every single day when I'm doing this sort of thing, if I ever feel myself slip again back to my old ways. Because this is the thing, many times folks get mega emotional about something very close to them. So if it could be something very dear and personal to your heart, that they just cannot think logically on a subject or establish their own point justly, just because they begin to spaz. And this is a situation that happens all the time. Like, you could love something so much, and if someone does like a minor criticism of it, then you lose all your like rationality. It doesn't matter. Like, it's just like you are now going to explode on this person just because they said one criticism about that. And that is not healthy. That is not healthy at all, instead of like doing that critical thinking and listening logically to it. Again, this is not an easy thing to do. Real talk, this is harder than certain training at times, because with certain training, it's just like, okay, I'm putting my body through discomfort and I'm gonna get stronger from this. Think of it the same way with your mental control and your mental training, because like, this is far from easy. This is a thing where you actively have to control it. And what I like to do is like, focus your energy like you are, you know, think of a Coke bottle. Like think of a fizzy bottle of Coke, right? If you shake it up, and like it fizzes up everywhere, you open it up, it's gonna spray all over the person and all over you, all right? So it's just a mess every single way. It's just messy over and over. But if you shake something up and you feel it, and then you slowly let it out and it's more focused, then it's not gonna spray everywhere. It's just gonna be like, okay, you know what? I got that. I'm able to control that. Like, certain things like that is what's going to help you, like with a certain breathing technique. As a matter of fact, to go back to our Halloween thing, this is something that helps me a bit, is the Michael Myers method, which I use for myself, which I don't know if I coined it or not, but if not, it's something I worked with that actually helps me a lot. All right, here's Michael Myers. We all know Michael Myers, you know, horror icon, etc., etc. All right, so when Michael is an emotionless killing machine, he's hyper-focused on what he wants to accomplish and what he gets done, and whenever he puts that mask on, it's just like, it's go time for him. It's like he's set, he knows what he wants, he's going to focus like on a certain thing. Like, that's how he does. So with me, my certain mentality with this was, whenever I felt like I was about to lose my shit, I would do this little visualization technique where I go like this and breathe. And like, what that does is I'm imagining I have a Michael Myers mask, like a invisible Michael Myers mask. This is what I'm doing. I'm imagining I have a visible Michael Myers mask. I put it on I breathe, I open my eyes, I'm in my mask, I'm in an emotional state with like, okay, I know what I need to do, I'm hyper focused, and this is just pure indifference. This is pure indifference, this is what I'm doing, and it lets me focus. Like it's a little visualization technique that helps me so much. So if you're ever in a situation, it may seem weird or people may like call you out for it, it actually helps you out with a thing, just like, and then I just like, you know, I'm imagining myself as like I'm gonna go like that would end terribly, but what I'm saying is like I'm imagining myself just like, you know, disconnected, like this is just like an avatar I'm looking through, and I'm breathing, and I'm just like, there's absolutely no emotion coming through. It's just like, okay, like that sort of thing right there. So I can focus and I can stay clear and I can get my logical mind back. It's super simple, but I was surprised at how effective it worked when I started doing it. I was just like, you don't even have to do this. I just like to do that because it's like a nice visualization of just like that feeling of just like putting the mask on, getting ready. But I was just like, you know, just breathe. And then of course, like, you know, I would just do my breathing techniques, which you've watched this video right here. I talk about in depth how it helps you to control things when you're doing it, like that diaphragmatic breathing, those deep breaths. And remember, like, you don't have to go, you know, stuff like that, because then, you know, that just makes you look even weirder. But again, I'm just trying to help you get the most out of this. So when you focus, it's like, I'm dead set on making this right. Because as I talked about in my Luffy video, when people just randomly want to play that who's the alpha in the room, like as I've talked about with David Goggins and, you know, Mike Tyson, who talked about this sort of thing, the people who act like that are very insecure, and they're projecting their insecurity onto you. And that lets me focus better. Because before, everything in the day would just be like, you're testing my manhood. You're really testing my manhood and stuff like that. And I'm just like, no, like nowadays I can look back and go, no, all right, this person is trying to get a rise because they want to feel powerful in some way. And so like, I'm just like, okay, yeah, sure. Like it's that whole thing Mike Tyson, David Goggins said, where it's just like the people who are the most insecure always try to come off as like the most alpha badasses and stuff like that in the room, and they try to punk you because it's just like, I don't want to see anyone on par with me or harder than me, because like I need to feel like the most powerful. I need to do that. And the second people start doing that now, because of all the stuff I've been through and all the years of just like, you know, meditation therapy and all that stuff and just strengthening my mind day after day, I just see what it is. Because the sad fact of the matter is, because we've talked about before, so many people cannot control their emotions, so they kind of go from, even like when they hit like 18, it's not like they're like adults, it's more like they're expired children in a way. Like honestly, it's the same as like, I get this visualization of like people who act like that just being like freaking a big ass version of Angelica from Rugrats. Like literally all it is like a toddler is just trying to get attention, and they're just trying to like act like, oh, I'm so much more important and better than I actually am. And it's just like, it's not like anything of intimidation, it's more like, that's sad. That's sad. Like, it's just what it is. Like, I know what's going on here. And I'm just like, and I'm not gonna give them the reaction they want, because the reaction they want is just trying to punk you. And it's just like, okay, yeah, whatever. Like, okay, yeah, I don't see what the big deal is. Because again, this is a big thing to people out there. Like, if you're really trying to come off like secure in yourself, then you're just vibing, bruh. Like, if you're truly secure in yourself, you are just vibing. All right, you don't care about any validation from anyone. You're just being you and just enjoying your life and doing that. And if you have to like look at someone and feel like, I have to put that person down to feel better about myself for today, even if it's like in a jokey way, just like I'm gonna go F with this person because like their reaction is gonna make me feel better or something like that, that joy or laugh, like it's just like, okay, realize where that's coming from. And some people get upset when it's like, oh, what the fuck? And so this is something as well that people will do, is they'll move the goalposts. Like there's so many times where people get into arguments and they realize that the person they're trying to mess with actually is like, you know, giving great counterpoints or not giving them what they want. And so what they'll do is they'll either move the goalpost and be like, they'll completely switch what the argument is, they'll straw man you or try to, you know, make you feel a different way or put words in your mouth, or they'll be like, you know, they'll just say like, why are you taking that shit so seriously, man? Like, it ain't even that serious, bro. Like, can you believe this guy and stuff like that? Because like, it's just like, oh, okay, now you're retreating back into, oh, this when you first initiated the conflict. And so there's just so many various ways that people do that. And it's just, when you evolve like your brain and like train your brain just to react this way, you will be feeling so much more stronger. This is not a thing of being elite and better than people. This is just you being like, no, I know what's going on with me now. Like, again, like if you have any personal issues, I am here to like say you're valid in how you feel. But if you take those personal issues out on someone else, then that is not strength, that is weakness. That is a weakness that you cannot control yourself. Like for example, and I always talk about this, if you have a mental health disorder or a mood disorder or anything like that, again, I am completely empathetic and sympathetic to you as someone who has tons of family members who like go through that. But again, like even those family members I have who have that go to like people to help them, like, you know, whether it be medication, whether it be like, you know, exercising, doing that stuff out. But like if you're trying to take your personal issues and throw that on someone who has literally nothing to do with it, that's one thing. Now, if you do it to someone who literally is fucking with you, then I'm like an anti-villain. I always say this, I'm like an anti-hero, anti-villain. I want to be like a symbol of peace like All Might, but it sadly is just not me. I'm more of an anti-hero, anti-villain mentality. And so like my whole thing is like, don't start none, won't be none. If someone does something to you and you go off on them, then yeah, by all means do that. But again, I'm giving you the option right now that you can get stronger. Don't feel like you are like helpless to the situation. Because remember, those who anger you control you. Those who like make you sad control you. All this stuff does massive things. And once you figure this out, people get like really heated that the fact that you're not responding to the way they want you to, and that just gives you so much more power than you realize. All right, if you are acting a certain way and someone wants you to act this way and you're not giving to them, it's literally a superpower. Calm is a superpower. Calm is a legitimate superpower that so many people could master but don't. So many people don't. And like, again, reason I'm getting energetic and passionate about this is because I hate seeing people who go through this certain thing like every single day where they feel like they're alone, or they feel like I don't know how to talk about this because I'm a guy and we're not supposed to talk about this shit. Like it's some bullshit. Like it's fucking bullshit. I do not care. You are not alone, my friend. Like again, you are not alone. Or like if you're someone who goes through this and you take yourself out on someone who literally has nothing to do with this is a eye-opening thing of like, you need to get some help for yourself, because some people don't want to change. Like if you genuinely want to be a better person, you will go out your way to be like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. But if you are just like content, like making other people bad, that's not a good thing. That is not a good thing. And it's just presenting your weakness. It's literally putting your weakness on display for everyone to see. That is what you're doing. You are putting your weakness on display for everyone to see every time you act out like that, every time you spaz out like that, every time, all right? And some people think that comes off as, I'm scary, they're scared of me, they're intimidated of me. And some people are, like some people who don't know what's going on are, but most of the time, majority of the people are just like, you know, this is just an Angelica situation, giant toddler going around, expired child acting this way, and that's not good. That is not good at all. And sometimes people will do this thing where they think it's cute, or like they think like, you know, man, you know, people get shot every day, too bad, should have been out of the wrong area, you know? Or some people like, yeah, I have such a mental thing, it's so cute, like, I'm so crazy, you know, shit like that. And it's just like, that's not cute. Again, you're literally putting your weakness out on display for everyone to see. Like that is not cute at all. And then again, another thing, some people will do this thing where they take their emotions and then make excuses for how they act this way. It's like, all right, well, you know, you're saying all this stuff, but you don't know my life. My life is this way. My life has been like this. My life has been this hard. And again, I am truly sorry and empathetic for whatever BS happened in your life that, you know, caused this to happen. But again, it's not gonna get better if you keep doing this to other people. Like it's just gonna make your life worse. I'm being completely real with you. If you do not like try to change or try to like at least get help for your, you know, condition or anything like that, it is not going to help. It's just going to make your life worse in the long run, and then it's just going to be like old and bitter and feeling sad. And some people like will pretend like I'm okay with that. I'm actually okay with that. And it's just like, are you though? Like, are you? Like, generally look in that mirror and be completely upfront and honest, because that is a scary thing as well. Some people lie to themselves so much that they begin to believe it. That is freaking horrifying. And so again, the reason I'm talking about this emotional control thing is because some people will actively lie to themselves about what they want for themselves, and then they will start to believe it. But like, they need to be upfront and honest with yourself. And if you are that way, go take a deep look in that mirror and don't lie to yourself and feel whatever you're feeling. If you got to start weeping, cry. If you need to go let out your anger in healthy ways, there are tons of great ways to let out your emotions and certain things. So like, for example, if you're angry, you know, I like to go boxing, you know, or hit the heavy bag or something like that, or like, you know, go to a certain site, you know, relieves the tension, whatever you got to do, like whatever you got to do to relieve that tension in yourself, do that. There is nothing wrong with that if it's going to help you, you know, get to a state where you can focus again, because that happens. Like, there's so many ways. That's why I say I promote exercise. Like, one of the biggest things about my channel that I've always wanted to do is not only help you to like look sexy and feel strong, but actually be strong, have strong stuff all over. Because so many times it's just, I look good and I'm still a dick, or I look good and I'm better than other people because blah, 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 but I'm still going through all this BS. Or I look good, but all this stuff is still going on in my head and I'm depressed, or I can't control my emotions. I keep doing this stuff, and that's what I'm here for. This is why your friendly neighborhood Jax is here for you. I want you to be strong all over. It's about health, fitness, wellness, all that jazz, and I know you can do this. I know for a fact every single one of you watching this right now can do this and be the better person, because at the end of the day, there are 7 billion plus people on this planet, all right? And not all of them, it's completely impossible for all of them to act this way. And honestly, life would be kind of boring if everyone acted that way, I'm not gonna lie. But like, if you can be one of that small percentage of people who is this strong all over, you're already doing justice to yourself and doing justice for everyone around you who cares about you. Because at the end of the day, again, I always had this talk with people. There are, again, 7 billion plus people on this planet. And they aren't all gonna like you, and you're not always gonna like them. Like that, I can know for a fact some of you have people that you just do not like. All right, like some people who don't like you, you don't like them. So try not to be. You don't have to worry about being liked by everyone. Also, something you have to realize is this: like as you get older, the people you realize what genuine relationships you want in your life. You have all these people near you, and you start going like, who is genuine and who do I want to maintain in my life? So you start to like, you know, trim the fat, if it were, of people you want in your life. And they're just like, these people elevate me, they don't stress me out, they do this. And if people are stressing you out, do that, you know, healthy barriers. Again, like if there's someone you just cannot let go of, healthy barriers. That's all I'm asking you to try and do. And again, you're not alone in that situation. And we're only here for, if you're lucky, I mean, like depending on stuff, let's just say average 100 years. All right, you know what? If you're lucky, 100 years. Some people sadly don't get to live that often, you know, like that long and stuff like that. So we're here for like pretty much a blip. And as you get older, time moves faster. All right. So for example, like, you know, you may be a kid now or something like that, and time's moving super slow because you're in school and stuff like that. But as you get like your mid-20s, it starts to speed up really fast, and you start going like, why am I wasting time spazzing out over this? Like, there are so many things I realized I spazzed out about over high school, and now I look back like, that was nothing. That was literally nothing. And I know for a fact you can overcome this and get stronger. So if you're in a high stress situation, you will be someone we can depend on instead of someone just like, oh God, I'm freaking out and stuff like that. You are strong. You are strong. Do not forget that. You have the ability to be strong. Do not forget that. Life is more than just aesthetics. It's about like being strong, being athletic, and having the love of people around you, or like having like, you know, just a stress-free time. But some people can't because, you know, depending on their environments. But again, that's not an excuse to take out your personal bad days on other people. You can focus on building yourself up and trying to get out of there, and having people around you who really want to elevate you, or going to someone for help. Like, this is the option for you. I'm talking about this so specifically because it's super important. Not enough people talk about it. So this playlist right here is a great way to, like, you know, try various breathing techniques to help you do it. But again, that Michael Myers thing will help you a lot. And remember, this is helping you to get power over yourself. This is going to help you develop that power for yourself so that you can overcome anything in your way. So if you want to hit that new freaking, you know, gain train, stuff like that, build that muscle, you want to lose that fat, you want to do this, strengthening the mind is all about that. And emotional control all throughout will help you get there, and also help you just be stronger in certain situations, because a lot of people aren't, and you will actively be stronger than other people in various areas once you master this for yourself. And stick with it. Remember, it's not an overnight thing. This is hard, like arguably harder than building muscle bodybuilding, like to really focus on doing this thing with your brain. It is very difficult, but no, you're not alone. And remember, that's why I always say this. And I just wanted to say that again because, you know, I want you to have some semblance of control over your life, and this would just help you in those horror movie situations. But again, I got personal again because I very much want to help people who feel like this, or who are going through this, or have someone in their life like this and they don't know what to do with them and stuff like that. And, you know, just like try to help them in a certain way. So that's what I'm saying. And again, don't feel like you have to talk to every single person. 7 billion people on this planet. You're only on it for like 100 years, and you know, find the people you love, and like if people want to come in your life and like be good, oh yeah, they elevate, cool. If they're not, all right, whatever. Like, you don't need them. You don't, I'm sorry, like there's some people like that where it's just like you don't need that kind of stress in your life. So they like, there's this whole thing where I was talking to a friend about this recently, about like certain blocking and stuff like that, where like, you know how some people will take a block as like a win or something like that. The only time I would consider a block a win is if someone says something like outlandish and then you reply to them like, no, that's stupid. Like for instance, like someone saying some super racist stuff, something just completely objectively wrong, and then like someone's like, yeah, that's wrong because blah blah blah, and you call them out for it and then you get blocked, then of course that. But if someone's just like, oh, I like this thing, or I'm just doing this, and then you decide to be a dick out of nowhere and they block or mute you, like that is not a win. That is just you being a dick and being called out for being a dick. But I'll talk about that on my Gyarados Magic Card video, but I'll talk about that later on. But again, if you made this far in the video, make it down below, type down below, I will not be weak. And if you do have this problem or know someone with this problem, share it, because I want to see as many of these as possible, because I want this section to be known that you are not alone. You are not alone here, because that is the thing that so many people feel for themselves, like I'm alone, or I'm coddled up. I don't want to do this. I don't want to release it. You are fine. And again, there's nothing wrong with feeling by yourself and however you feel. Like, don't like spaz out in public or a bunch of strangers who don't know you. Do it like in your room by yourself, secluded, or do it with people you love, stuff like that. That is completely fine. But remember, I will not be weak. Down below, comment section. And for all those out there, thank you for watching. Sorry this month of Halloween got cut short. Again, like with family issues I talked about on my Twitter and all this stuff. I just been going through it, and just other stuff. But thank you all so much. We're almost at 500K. We're almost at 500,000. I'm pretty sure we're gonna hit it next month. So what I wanna do is I want to start hitting my uploads again. Like I'm about to hit 500,000, so I want to get like strict with it. So we're gonna go for 11 a.m. uploads on Saturday morning. I actively have a video finished right now that I can make live on Saturday at 11 a.m. So be sure to come back for that. I hope you enjoy it. It's super fun. But again, if you want any programs from me, be sure to check out like Tough Like the Tunes. I have a whole playlist. Or I also have like programs with meal plans and diet plans that can help you transform yourself stronger and mentally, down in the description box down below. As a matter of fact, I'm giving away a free thing right now if you want to try it out, either the pinned comment. Again, nothing like to stress about or anything like that. You don't have to if you don't want to. I got completely free stuff, but again, it's just there if you want it, just completely free. And remember, like I always say, keep calm. Booyah on, or should I say, booyah on. Love doing that because it's the month of Halloween. Next month of Halloween, next year, it's going hard because I'm making up for this month, because this was a month that I was like, so much shit just happened and I felt bad. But again, thank you all for all your added support. I really, truly appreciate it. And no, you're not alone. Your friendly neighbor JaxBlade loves you and believes in you. So don't forget that. All right. Peace out. Hope you have a great Halloween. Go eat a ton of Reese's peanut butter cups for me, or whatever candy you like, or whatever, like if you want to be healthy. All right. Peace.